where do you store your prompts and how do you access them when you need them in the middle of a conversation with ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini or whatsoever? That was the problem that I had. I would always forget the best prompts. I would never really be able to replicate them, or I would save them somewhere where I forgot about them. And that's why I built right-click prompt. This is how it works. You just select the text window where you're in, right-click, and then you pick your prompts from your prompt library, all right? So here, for example, for a blog outline, this is the entire prompt that's saved inside of RCP, right-click prompt. And let me show you how this looks like on the back end, all right? So the way this works is you basically have two components. Well, a couple more, to be honest with you. But this is the dashboard, and this is the extension, all right? The extension essentially works across all the major platforms everywhere in your browser. All right, as you can see, it's in here. It's no problem. But let's go through the dashboard. This is where you manage your prompts. This is where you start your main prompt library. And when we get started, it looks something like this. Let me just remove all of these here. You'll see as it will get updated here. And then in your right-click menu, it's empty, right? But this is how it starts without these. Those are demo prompts because we'll get to that in a moment. If you go here, if you ever have questions, check the tutorial, all right? This is the main prompt library. This is where your prompts live, where you can create them, where you can edit them. And this is where they're most secure as well. Here is the quick access menu. In the quick access menu is basically where you drag your prompts and the prompts from other people, which we will get to in a minute. You will drag them over and then they will appear in your quick access menu and your dashboard and essentially in this right-click context menu right here. Okay, right now it's empty. That's why it doesn't show anything. Next, you can, like I said already, you can either drag and reorder the prompts in here, or you can drag so those are folders. And you can drag the folders over. We'll show that in a minute. And then it will sync automatically. And you can also preview the prompts and edit the prompts in the folders. And here is something that I'm really excited about. You know, the first version was actually not syncing at all, and you couldn't share much. So with this new version, one of the main features is that we now can create shareable prompt folders. And then when people share them, you can subscribe to them and pull them over to your dashboard. This is especially important for teams and businesses where you want certain members of your team, for example, use exactly the same type of prompt for when it comes to style guides or a tone for a customer. Then you can share those prompts with them and they can choose to either take them as it is or adapt them and change them slightly if you want. Okay, so let's go over some of the features that we mentioned before. Like I said, you drag it over here from the My Prompt section, and here one from the subscription sections. You drag it over here, and then you can see it pops out on the right side. As I said before, if you would go now to, let's go over to Claude, you go to the right-click menu, and there you can see My Prompts. Okay, this shows that these are your prompts, as it says, right? And those are the subscribed ones. Okay, so here you just pull them in, and imagine you have a conversation, and then you can create those prompts however you like, and we'll go over this. This can be very helpful when it comes to just getting your work done really quickly, especially if it's repetitive tasks that you have to do over and over again, and you're not at a point where you feel like completely automating it and just giving it to AI. Okay, but how does it look like when we create a prompt? It's very simple. We do it here, test. Okay, well, I actually even added this little, let me see if I can, you can add this emoji here. Okay, let's put this one here. And then you have this test folder. And inside the test folder, you can create a prompt. This is thumbs up. Okay. Hee hee. All right. Create the prompt. And you can make this whatever you want it to be for all kinds of snippets of text, to be honest with you. And then it lives in your My Prompt library. Now you can see it's not synced yet. What you do is you drag it over It appears here, and then it should sync over here in a minute. If it doesn't, you have to press the sync button. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And guess what? You can rearrange it here as well. And then you sync it, you see it, it rearranges. You can rearrange the prompts inside of a folder as well. And then also, again, like I said, here are some other prompts from other people in this case. So let's take a closer look at what sharing looks like, okay? And if we go back here, and let's say this is an amazing prompt and I want to share it. You click the share window, and then you say something like Camille test, all right? Or you could put your website in there, all right? You could say AI Adopters Club. And then you can select if you want to share the link with anyone or just specific people, all right? If it's specific people, you can either have specific email addresses or domains with that email address. For this, we will create a link that shares with anybody with the link. And by the way, when you share that link, this is what it's going to look like. Okay. In this case, it's a very simple prompt. If you have multiple prompts in this folder that you shared, then you can see it down here in the preview file as well. But let's say this guy, this user, which is a different user, gets this link, then they can either, actually, let me see, they would see it just the same way. Okay, and then they can add it to their library here, or they can just take the link and paste it right here and then subscribe to it, and it pops up right here inside of their dashboard. And then they can use this and bring it over here, and they have it available here. You can see it. It's locked because it's currently owned by this guy who shared it, if that makes sense. All right, so it's essentially a better way to share prompts with each other because they're immediately available for action. Now, when it comes to something like editing the prompts, you can just click on a prompt and then this side pane opens and you can see the entire text, you can edit it, and then we even have a version history of up to 3 prior versions of the same prompt. This is especially helpful when you decide that you like a previous version better than the current one and you don't have to worry about losing that one in this case. So this is what I got for you. This is right-click prompt. I hope you enjoyed that. To me, this thing has been invaluable. I put up the first version in January last year, so almost a year ago, and it has probably saved me days by now. I have a little analytics board here that you can see. Obviously, this is not going to be a lot here right now because I just started this test account, but that shows you essentially how much time it could have saved you just by counting the prompts and the length of the prompts and how often you use them. This thing has been super valuable to me. It takes a moment to set it up and really to develop the prompts that you want to use over time. But it's super easy and super intuitive, and it's just something that I'm very proud of. So I invite you to test it out. Go to rightclickprompt.com and let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the AI Adopters Club. Bye-bye.